All right. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Una de para. That's what they're saying, right? Be guided, be guided, be guided, be guided. Like somebody say with the para. Welcome to today's class, guys. This is not really a class. This is like a live session. So, okay. All right. So today is more of straight to the point. Good morning. Good morning, Gift. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Mr. Lucky, good morning to you as well. All right, so today is more of we're going straight to the point. Yeah, today's not quite a good week for today. Let me not say a good week. I'm having a terrible day, like a terrible day today. Um, as regards the market as well, Euro USD was dropping so bad since yesterday. The drop was so bad. For some people, it was good. Like if you're on that sell, or you should be happy, right? You should be really really excited. But for me, it was not like that because my automated system trades Euro USD, and I had to cut down some losses this morning. I had to cut down some losses because the sell was too aggressive, and it triggered like a fail switch in case the market crossed a certain level of drawdown. Please close out all trades, and that's what happened today. So I did take some losses today, and then again, that's part of what we face in the market, right? um, the glitz and the glamour will always show you that we're making profits and all of that, but that does not mean that we don't take losses as well. And even when your mentor tells you, hey, losses are part of the game, you don't bounce back again, the truth is that you will still feel it no matter how. Even if you're using a proper lot size, you're using everything, as far as you're trading with real money, right? And you lose, even if it's $1, you lose. There's a certain way you feel about it, and that's normal. The only thing is that you just have to brace it up, pick it up, and move on, because accepting that that is part of it helps to lessen the pressure you feel. So definitely, the market gives and the market take, but most importantly, it gives us more. If you understand what you're doing, you always gain more. So today is that day where it appears like at the end of the month, when I do my statistics, my analysis, I realize that I didn't make money this month, and that's okay. That's very okay. Yeah, these are the things that we face. Next month is going to be better, right? Last month was pretty okay, decent, good, some good profits. It was not so massive, but it was okay. This month is a no, in fact, in a little bit of a drawdown. But guess what? We're going to come back and make more money from the market. Now, this is one part that is annoying me. The second part that is annoying me is the chart. Now let's go to the chart. Now, from our Sunday class, I showed you guys some stuffs. I think from last week, this whole thing started from last week, where I showed you guys so many setups, and they played out exactly as I projected. Yeah, almost all the setups played out exactly. Now, this week we got some setups as well, and they're playing out really nicely. And I'm still not on some of them. Now, let's start with GBP USD. Let's start with GBP USD. So let me share my screen. And GBP USD is on the verge of an entry, but it did not get me in. Let me show you guys what's happening right now. So GBP, the trades, the ones that have been dropping so mad, right? Now, I remember giving you guys this analysis saying that I'm expecting price to drop to this zone right here. This is from the daily time frame. Now, if you look at the daily time frame, this is it. This is what we have here. And this was the whole setup, right? I said this was the zone, the target where I'm expecting price to come to for a push to the upside. Now, the inducement have happened. We have come to that point. This is the order block from the daily time frame. Now, if you drop down to the 4 hour time frame, we also have an order block 4 hour, which is what I'm expecting price to come. You see how we're going back and back to just get this. This order block was created since when? Um, Where's my cursor? Oh, what's happening? Okay, yeah. This order block was created since 19th of May, right? And this is 29th of July. This is when we're getting to this order block, right? So this was the zone, and this was where I picked my entry from. But you can see what is happening right now. Market is leaving us, like it's practically leaving already, practically leaving. So I can't join this right now because it has already, you know, moved out without activating my order. However, see what we're going to do here to get a re-entry on this. I'm just going to wait for price to break out of this, right? I want to see something like this, to break out like this. Then I can come to a lower time frame. I can come to a lower time frame like the 15 minutes. 15 minutes, like okay, let's see 30 minutes. Yeah, 15. Now this should be the high that we're targeting to break out from. When we do break out from this high, obviously we're going to see some back rates, some liquidity around here, and give us a continuation. Yeah, so this is what I should be expecting on GBP USD. So we can't get in. I don't know if you want to get in on this one, your SL is going to be pretty large unless you want to keep it pretty tight. But as it stands now, from the analysis we did on Sunday, market has gotten to that point where we're expecting market to come to. Then using this order block right here as our entry, the market did not activate. But I think if you're using fair value gap, if you enter via fair value gap entry, you will definitely be activated. For those that use fair value gap, I think Better was Better. Are you in this trade already? I think you dropped something like that in the group. I don't know whether you use fair value gap to enter or something, but I think I saw your analysis where you should be activated already if you entered. Using fair value gap, definitely you'll be activated by 50%. Now, the reason why I'm not even going to use fair value gap here is because this zone is pretty large and this drop was crazy, yeah? So I will just stick to my normal routine entry using the order block, which would have been okay, but price did not get there. Are you kidding me? You guys are not seeing my screen. Whoa. All right, hold on. Let me check the problem. Let me check the problem and share again. Okay, I've refreshed it again. So can you see my screen now? Okay, so you can see it now, right? Okay, I'm beginning to see your messages now. Yeah. All right. So I was talking about this GBP USD, yeah, and explaining. On Sunday, the market was still around here on Sunday. We had not seen this whole sell, right? I think market was somewhere around here on Sunday, something like this. So if I'm not mistaken, right? So I had this sell zone, was the ultimate buy zone we had. And this buy zone, I got it from the daily time frame. So look at the entry from the daily time frame, the zone. This is the zone, right? This order block here. Now I have one break of structure here on the daily time frame. I have one break of structure here. And I have another break of structure here. Another break of structure here. These are massive structural breaks, yeah? And what do I expect next? This is the the last order block that has not been mitigated that the market created before this whole double breaker structure. So apparently I'm waiting for price to drop one, two, maybe engineer some liquidity, then come back for this order block. And that is exactly what it did. That's why I had um this setup for a sell to buy, right? Like this. Yeah. So I wanted to see price, at least if you want, because I know that the destination is here. So in order to join this sell, I was waiting for price to at least come back to this neckline. That's why I had this sell zone here, but it didn't. Eventually, the market just dropped from where it was, right? But now the drop has come to the area of interest. Now getting the entry was from this order block on the 4 hour. You know, there's no way we're going to take that trade from the daily time frame. Even some people may not even want to take an entry from the 4 hour because it's still large. The SL is going to be large. My SL here is about 40 pips or so, but it's pretty fair based on the risk to reward that I'm targeting. But using the order block entry, market actually entered with the fair value gap. You remember right here, we have an imbalance, right? From this low to this high here. We have an imbalance here, and in between the imbalance is where we have this 50% fair value gap entry, right? And market actually respected that. So because my SL was going to be quite high, I decided to still stick to my normal order block entry, right? This morning a student of mine brought it to my attention, like check GBP USD, and when I checked, I saw that price was already really close to, because yesterday I saw the fall, but it was to the area of interest. So I picked out entry from the order block right here, but you can see how everything turned out, right? We did not get activated, or I did not get activated rather. But in trying to get a re-entry, this is what I'm going to do here. This is still 9:30 with all this massive drop. I'm not expecting this market to just reverse all the way up immediately. Like, the market has been crashing since yesterday. The USD have been plunging up, and EU and GU have been crazy, crazy crashing, right? So after a crash like this, you don't expect the market to just automatically start reversing. Most times it doesn't happen that way. What will happen is that there will be some sort of accumulation, then maybe a manipulation and a new distribution will happen, because this fall did not come as a result of some kind of NFP or CPI or what have you, right? It's also fundamentally based. But even with the fundamentals, this is like a back end fundamentals, one of these crazy talks, one of these situationships with the reserve of Powell and Trump and all of those kind of back end things. That's what, caused this spiral move like that in the market. I haven't gotten the full detail of it, but that is the peripheral view of what is happening here. So you do not expect the market to just start giving you massive reversals immediately. So I expect to see some of those things. If it's still valid for anybody, I'm going to drop it here. Let me write out or let me put it back on the 4 hour, then write out the coordinates, just in case you want to drop a pending order and the price will come back for it. Let me spell it out correctly so that it can be very visible. 1.33 1.333 10. That is the entry. And the stop loss is at stop loss is at 1.3263. So this is the stop loss and this is the entry. Should we get, that's the original entry position, should price come back to it, right? And you can follow up on this. So so this is it on GBP USD. Success. Emma, you said you're not still seeing my screen. I think if others are seeing it, that means the network should be from your own end. Please, are you guys seeing my screen? Someone said it's not seeing it. Can somebody help me out in the comment? Please let me know if you're seeing my screen. Because I'm about to switch pair right now. Okay. So the next pair, oh God, can you just stop quoting right now? So the next pair I'm going to be looking at is GBP JPY. GBP JPY. GBP JPY is GBP JPY did what we anticipated, but not exactly. If you remember closely on Sunday, I spoke about this equal level, right? I spoke about a sell, telling you guys that I'm expecting price to drop down to this zone right here, this second zone. This is the buy zone that I have, right? So if I'm anticipating a sell to this buy zone, it is only fair to look for sell setups that will push price down to this point, right? So I can capitalize on the sell itself. Now we had this equal level. Let me go back to the 4-hour time frame. We had this equal level right here. Market was ranging, and this was the projection that I gave. I want to see price deep out of the equal level by sweeping here before the drop starts, right? Now, did that happen? Yes, it happened, but it was not as pronounced as I wanted it to, right? So I wanted to see a nice candle that will pop out, then another one popping into the structure. It did that here. So let me just shift it, right? It did that right here where you see price popping out to sweep liquidity and the drop happened. This was a very sharp one, and the type that you may not notice when it happened if you're not really on chart. Now on the 1-hour time frame, it was pretty clear on the 1-hour time frame, very clear, and we can see the sweep right here. This is the candle that swept the liquidity, and this is the one dropping back into the structure. Two ways you want to confirm this, right? Is either you've gotten it, you're getting a sweep with a tweezer or a sweep with an engulfing. This is a clear engulfing, and immediately after that engulfing, this would have been the entry. Again, this is why I told you guys that, like, I've been getting my projections, but I have not been taking those entries as I'm supposed to. So let's assume this is the close. This is going to be like your stop loss. This is where it's supposed to be. And usually with this kind of entry, if I'm on chart and if I see something like this, what I'm going to be doing is the moment the market close, the last close of the candle, if it's a tweezer, immediately as the sell candle closes, or if it's an engulf, immediately the sell candle closes, I'm going to take my entry only if the stop loss is not really large. There are sometimes that the engulfing might drop down to this point and the stop loss will be really large. So what you wait for is a pullback before you enter. But in cases like this, where I have this is the close, right? This is like a 30 pip stop loss, right? So you can see that the market just hovered around a little bit of pullback, and from there all the way down, right? All the way down, it's dropping. Now, this drop has already happened. We've had a break of structure here. We had another break of more like a change of character, if you may, or you can call it a break of structure. However, the structure have changed to the downside. Now we just look for what a re-entry, but the re-entry is going to be is looking hard for me here to pick out a particular spot because the candlesticks are not looking nice. The build-up is not looking nice, right? So it's more like a retracement move. Retracement moves are very tacky sometimes, right? Tacky, cocky, whatever name you want to call it, but they don't usually show you exactly all those spots, that those nice sweet spots, unless the chart is clear. But if it's not in your favor, it's not clear. So I'm just going to be letting this one slide until I see something really nice, or I'm just going to wait for the buy to come, which is on this zone right here. So this one is still valid. This zone we're still waiting for is still valid. So our advice, you take these projections seriously, because you can see that most of our projections have been correct. Maybe if I don't update it on the group, on your own, you should be able to follow up on the setups yourself. If you're following up the projection, you should be able to follow up the setups and catch some of those trades. That's why I teach you guys with also entry criteria and how to enter trades, right? Not just looking at the setup, but also how to enter when the market comes there to your area of interest. So that's that on USD, on GBP, JPY. Then we have this on gold. All right, so I'm on gold right now. I hope you can see my chart. So this is my sell zone on gold. Let me mark this as a sell zone. I told you guys last week on Sunday that we're going to be seeing so much sells this week. All right, this is my sell zone. Now, if you go down to a lower time frame, gold is reacting to this area right here, right, which is more or less like the place where it's going to sell from. But I'm not going to use this one. I'm not satisfied with this move. I'm going to consider this as part of my liquidity, part of the engineered liquidity. So whatever it does here, no problem. Let it drop and do its thing. The more it moves away, the better. New York session, we might see something interesting. New York session might give us this drop like this. The New York session might give us that push to mitigate this point for the drop continuation. So this is what's taken seriously, right? Gold. It's a very simple setup, no much drama, no much manipulation. So if I spell it out for you here, we already have a break of structure here, right? A very clean BOS. So this is the origin of the move. And this is where we have the nice looking order block with some fair value gap, right? Let me streamline this zone more. Yeah, and then we have FVG right here. So let me put this, fill it up with a different color. Yeah, we have FVG there. So this is basically the projection for gold. I still want to sell, but it's too early for me to join in on the sell right now. And this is London session, right? We're in the London prime session now. So, and you can see how the market is reacting, not the kind of reaction in it. So yes, this is probably going to be part of the liquidity they will engineer for the New York session to sweep and drop, right? So this is the projection for gold, right? And where am I selling down to? You remember this, our low, this point that we've been waiting for? This is it exactly. So we want to see price drop all the way back down to this point. So how do we join the sell? This is where we're going to get the entry for the sell all the way down here. So gold traders, this is it, right? I think that's as much. Let me check which other pair again. I think this is the major ones that I'm waiting for here. USD CHF has already, there is no turning back. This was the whole projection we had. I don't know how many of you were able to get on this buy. This was last week buy. This was the buy zone we had last week, and this was the whole setup. And if you had gotten in, we have hit full TP and even beyond. I tried to get a re-entry. I could not get a re-entry. So that's out of the way. So now I'm just going to focus on these new setups that I have, GBP, USD, and gold as well. Excuse me, gold as well. And then wait for GBP, JPY. All right, so not to take our time. All right, let's check USD, JPY. Let's check USD, JPY. Okay, so before USD, JPY, yeah. This is like a 52. Whoa. 39, 38 pip, 38 pip. I saw this forming earlier. This is Euro JPY, sorry, Euro JPY, yeah. And it's in the entry area. Do you think it's worth joining? I think so. I've not done a really good analysis. I'm just seeing this happening, right? I just saw it now. This tweezer, this is one of my entry confirmation, but I always say before you use it, what you want to see is the area of interest. Is this forming in an area of interest? This looks like it. Let me see, is price reacting to this low? Kind of, it did not touch it, but yeah, that's the area I think it's reacting to. Let me see, 2-hour time frame. Nah, I'm not gonna force it. All right, let's check UJ. I need to properly check that. Let's check UJ. USD JPY. Okay, from the daily time frame. Okay, I remember we had this area here, and I think we had another area somewhere around here. That's why I had this box here. Let me check the reason why I have this zone. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I remember this zone. I think we did this on Sunday where we talked about this as our zone first of all, because there was a sweep here. This is an area of interest. There was a sweep here, and we projected that okay, price was going to come down. So all this move that dollar did yesterday and today, it did not really affect USD JPY because the JPY pair is kind of like strong. So it did not affect it that much. But this whole push has already given us so this area still remains valid. Let me see from the 2-hour time frame. It still remains valid. Okay, so bringing it down to this other zone now for now, you see, this is the daily time frame zone. Sorry, let me show you guys something now. This is what I'm saying here. This zone is the daily time frame zone, and from what I'm seeing here, we might not get back to this zone for now. This is the reason why. Now, this is 4-hour time frame. Should we see a new should price slowly, as it's moving slowly, sluggishly like this, break structure, right? The moment it breaks structure in range for UJ, right? But let us see that break of structure happen first. However, while this break of structure is still happening, this is the reason why this zone will become more valid for us, right? Now, if we have a break of structure here, and then the market will now use this area, this origin, as the next sweet zone. All we just need to wait for is projected liquidity, right? Now, inside this whole move, first of all, this is the break of structure. This is the sweep, a very valid sweep. Then bringing it down to smaller time frames as we project down, we had so many break of structures inside this push, right? We had one right here. So I have a break of structure. Market has reacted to it. Now I have another break of structure here, a tiny one. I have another one right here. Yeah, right here. Another break right here. Now we need to see what with all of these breaker structures, what do we need to see here? We need to see a change of character, because the dollar index have massively been buying, right? So ultimately, we're going to expect a correction. This is the dollar index from the 4-hour time frame. Now, the dollar index looks like it wants to give us the kind of correction that we're waiting for. You see, this is an area right here that it might touch for a correction to start, like a sell to start, because this one has already broken structure here. It just needs to what? Change character and mitigate. And if it's doing that, that means USD JPY will also begin to drop. USD JPY will begin to drop. So we can get in on sell positions on USD JPY for the short time by experiencing or waiting for price to give a proper sweep. Either we get a proper sweep to the upside, crack, or we just wait for a smaller time frame change of character, market structural shift. Then we start projecting for sales to be doing what? All those sales now is meant to be taking out all these lows and these liquidities that the market has been engineering since, all the way back to maybe this zone where we had the 4-hour liquidity sweep. So this is my projection on USD JPY. Still, I'm going to say the New York session should give us more of the action, right? So I want to see a more bullish push like this to break structure, then it's all the way, right? So now we just have to be patient on UJ and wait for the New York session to see, okay, let us have a push to the upside, a proper push that will cause a change, a new break of structure in 4 hours. Then we'll look for a market structure shift on the smaller time frames to get in on sales. That is pretty much, UJ should be a very good one. UJ should be a very good one. All right. So just one more pair. Which other pair should we take a look at? One more pair before we call it a day. All right. I think this is pretty much what we have for today. So these are the pairs we're going to, that I'm personally focusing on, and then you can as well follow up on these pairs as well. And we could probably get setups that I would also send, because I'll send some setups to the Telegram mostly, so that we can follow up from there, send some signals and some setups to the Telegram channel. All right. So thank you very much for your time. I hope we're able to get something done today. We'll keep ourselves updated. All right. Have a good and blessed day, everybody. See you guys next time.